What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to some more Littleroot laddering. We are continuing on playing Smeargle's super ultra mega bulky team that he sent in for this week. So Snorlax, Mandibuzz, Celesteela, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Ensign, and then our real damage output is going to be from like Garchomp, Coco if we really need to be offensive. So this team's been really fun. We pulled just short of top 500 earlier in the week when I had played. So interested to see, it's been a couple days since I've actually played. Let's see where we are actually at on the ladder and see where we are starting out for today. Maybe. Holy cow, that's a drop. Whatever. It's fine. It's been like almost still, not quite a week, but a non-zero amount of days since I've played. Stop it! I just want to play! Quit dropping my ranking. It's fine. I still think that 515 is the highest I've ever been on ladder, so that's cool. Granted, it's still early in the month, but, I'll take it. I will take it, so. Let's see, we got Celesteela, Raichu, Urshifu, Landorus, Thundurus, and Rillaboom. So this tells me this is almost 100% going to be Defiant Thundurus, so probably... it's weird because I don't want to bring Ensign because if they get the Defiant boost, then we're bad, but, at the same time, because we have Will-O-Wisp on this, it's kind of fine. Especially since they have 4 things that I really want to burn. I feel like I need to bring Ensign anyway, just so I can potentially deal with Celesteela in the end game, but I probably don't want to lead it. Could do, Mandibuzz plus... I kind of like Mandibuzz, Celesteela, Mandibuzz, Coco up front. Something like that. Let's do Mandibuzz, Coco with, Garchomp and Snorlax in the back. I think this is pretty alright. Gives us plenty of answers for everything that they might have. Obviously need to watch out for Raichu so we don't get a free lightning rod boost for them. But I think I like the 4 we're bringing here. I think it covers most of our bases in what we can do, so let's see what our opponents bring in here. See what kind of heat they are bringing here. It's gonna be Celesteela Raichu. Okay, so this tells me this is probably Meteor Beam, right? Meteor Beam Celesteela. I think this lead tells me that they are probably going to Dynamax here on 1. Now, honestly, Celesteela is kind of a pain with the mons that we brought. It's Air Balloon Raichu. That tells me most likely that Sash is going to be on their Urshifu. I think I really like going for Snarl here. And I kind of just want to protect Coco. Snorlax is probably going to have to be our Celesteela answer. And I have a feeling they're probably going to Dynamax here. Could also see them going... Actually, I like going into Garchomp here and protecting. I can see a Meteor Beam being fired into Celesteela, so then they go to +1. This could be Fake Out plus Meteor Beam this turn. And they are just going to end up Dynamaxing Celesteela, which I think is also fine for us. Could see Steel Spike, could see probably not an Airstream this turn. The question is what does this Raichu actually do? So Volt Switch into Celesteela. Oh, this is not at all what I expected. This is sweet. I wasn't ready for was not ready for Weakness Policy Celesteela. Interesting. And they're going to bring out Landorus. Okay. And get that Intimidate off into the Garchomp and, of course, Coco, but Coco doesn't care about it, so who cares? This is just going to be a Rockfall, presumably into the Garchomp slot. Which, I mean, that does do a good chunk. More than I would have liked, but I think we're okay. Is this turn we can just go like Rock Slide and Dazzling Gleam? I think there is a definite chance that Landorus goes back into Raichu this turn. Like, I really like the idea of maxing Coco to try to deal with the Celesteela, especially now that we know it's weakness policy. But I have a feeling Landorus just switches out into back into the Raichu here. No, they're just gonna stay in. Interesting. Is this Scarf? Is this Scarf Landorus? I mean, they're gonna pick up the double here, but there's the Airstream. Yeah, I don't really like our position now. I don't think I've played this game well at all so far. I also think our opponent brought a lot of different things that definitely was not prepared for. Because now they have a +3 Celesteela, and I don't think we're going to be able to properly deal with this. Because I don't think Mandibuzz is going to be able to live a hit. And I really need to be able to get a Snarl off. And I could just flare the Landorus. And then that'll set up a potential KO on the Celesteela next turn. Could also just double flare the Celesteela. I think that's probably the play. I think Mandibuzz is just going to take way too much damage this turn to even potentially stay in this game. Yeah, was not ready for weakness policy. If this is Scarf Landorus, I wasn't ready for that. It's just another thing that like has between like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and now is just completely fallen off favor. You don't typically see Scarf Landorus anymore, whereas back in the day it was fairly common. I believe it was actually the most common item for quite a while on Landorus, just because you needed to be able to outpace other Landorus. Yeah, I mean, they're going for Earthquake here, so that tells me this is probably Scarf. There's the crit. There's a Steel Spike. Alright, well, they're just going to leave our Mandibuzz alone, so that's cool. So we should be able to get this Snarl off. They're going to get their defense boost, which is not great for Snorlax, but now, at least now Celesteela is only at +2. And there's the Fire Punch, which does approximately nothing. But now that we have the Sun and their Dynamax is over, this is going to do way more. I still don't think it's enough for a KO, though. I'm actually going to foul play the Celesteela because they are at +2. I'm going to Steel Spike the Landorus. They're going to withdraw the Landorus. Okay. I'm going to bring out Thundurus here. I have a feeling they were anticipating the Snarl here. They also could just want to get another Intimidate off into... they could just want to get an Intimidate off into Snorlax here. But the way they're, like, targeting down Snorlax tells me that, like, I don't think we're going to be able to live another hit. So foul play from into Celesteela will pick up a KO there. So this is going to be 130 times 2 is 260. This is 140 times 1.5, which is 130. So this is technically more effective as a neutral hit into the Thunderous. Oh, they have superpower. That's not good. Snorlax hangs on, but at what cost, you know? Because this Flower Play... Oh, they're just going to Air Slash my Mandibuzz. Okay. Actually takes that pretty okay, but we flinch. Does this take out the Thunderous? Because if not, I feel like we can't win. Okay. Okay. I don't feel great about our current position. Because now Snorlax just goes down to another Earthquake. But they're probably going to switch over to Rock Slide just because they do outspeed us. They also have Raichu here, so they can go for a Fake Out. Yeah, I don't see a way back into this game. I think them having the surprise factor of their item choice is ultimately what cost us this game. And I think that's fine, you know? Like, sometimes you just get outplayed by, you know, best of one strats. I don't want to put it like that. I think in, like, an adjustment for game 2, what will we do for game 2? I think we stay in with Mandibuzz and just fire off a Snarl. And then we can, like, bring in Snorlax on the lead. But, like, I think if we do that, they just still make the same play where they switch into Landorus. And instead of locking themselves into Earthquake, they probably just lock themselves into Rock Slide. So I don't feel great about that matchup now that, like, I know more information about their team. So next up we got Rillaboom, Grimmsnarl, Moltres, Ensign, Garchomp, and Rotom Wash. Interesting. So what do we like? What do we not like? I think Coco has really good damage output against both the Garchomp and the Moltres. Of course, we hit Grimmsnarl super effectively. I like Celesteela a lot here as well, so we can get some defense boosts. I don't particularly care for Mandibuzz here. I don't think it's doing a ton. So I think it's probably Ensign, so we can actually intimidate down their physical attackers. Possibly get a Will-O-Wisp into the Garchomp if we can actually live a hit. At -1, we probably can. Question is, do we like Garchomp or Snorlax more? And I'm leaning towards Snorlax. So what... I know the 4 we bring. The question is in what combination. I think it's going to be like Ensign, Coco, plus Celesteela, Snorlax in the back. I feel pretty okay about this. If they lead Moltres, how do we respond? If they lead Moltres plus Grimmsnarl, what do we do? We could max Coco, go for Fake Out plus Starfall. That would prevent potential screens from going up. It's going to be Grimmsnarl Rotom. Okay, I'm pretty okay with this as well. I think this is actually the same play of just Fake Out the Grimmsnarl and Starfall it. I think I just want to be the aggressor here. I also want to preserve Ensign for the late game just because their physical threats are pretty threatening in all actuality. Celesteela obviously doesn't want to come in at all. Snorlax could be fine to bring in. I think we just go for the Fake Out. And we go for the old Starfall into the Grimmsnarl here. I feel okay about this. Okay. They're going to bring out Rillaboom. I'm actually pretty okay with this because we're going to get rid of the grassy terrain. So, like, sure, we're Dynamaxing early here, but at the same time, like, we're getting rid of their terrain for their Rillaboom. And we're still putting on a fairly sizable amount of pressure here with Life Orb Coco. Like, it's the fastest thing on the field. Like, I feel pretty okay about what we have going on. I think the big thing is like getting rid of their terrain here is going to be really important. Question is does Rotom go for like nasty plot here? Should not KO. Really, really close, but not quite. Yeah, and they do just nasty plot. I mean, that's kind of fine. It's like, I can just Flare Blitz the Rillaboom, pick up the KO on it, pending that they don't, obviously they could just fake out my Snorlax, or my Incin. Could I also cycle Incin into Snorlax here, anticipating the... I actually like that a lot. Let's go into Snorlax here and take this hit from the Rotom, and then we will Lightning into the Rotom slot. I have a feeling they max here. They're going to withdraw the Rillaboom. I'm pretty okay with this. They're going to bring out their own Incin. Okay. Like, obviously this Intimidate doesn't really accomplish anything because we are going to just switch out. We're going to bring in Snorlax. Luckily, their Rillaboom was faster, so they got the switch first. There's the Dynamax from the Rotom. Not really surprised by anything going on here so far. Makes me curious what the Grimmsnarl set is. So here's the Max Lightning. Does okay damage. Like, in all actuality, that's pretty okay damage. And I'm assuming this is a geyser into my Snorlax. Yep. No, they're gonna geyser my Koko. Well, that's awkward. That's really awkward. Because I have two things in the back that really don't like Dynamax Koko. I mean, Dynamax Rotom. Are they also lefties? Weird. Very weird. So we can bring out Celesteela here and protect. But like, what does Snorlax actually accomplish for us here? Like, the fact that they have leftovers tells me this is an extremely bulky Rotom. Plus, they could just fake out my Snorlax here. But I think even with a fake out, we should be able to live a hit from the Rotom. I think Lightning into Celesteela is really obvious. The question is that the play they make, or do they just try to take out the Snorlax here? Because if they try to take out the Snorlax, going for a Leech Seed into Rotom is really, really good for us. You know what? I am going to read it. I'm going to read them trying to take out my Snorlax here. This could be a giant misplay. Immediately punished. Immediately punished. Well, unfortunately, I think that's going to be a big L on this one, too. So, I think the correct play then was to, on turn 1, go for Fake Out plus Lightning into the Rotom, and then it just doesn't set up, and just, like... Because, like, Grimmsnarl isn't really threatening Koko at all. Just because, like, if they are screens, what screen do you need to set in front of Koko? Like, I think this is a really... I definitely think I targeted the wrong slot on turn 1. I think if I was going to be the aggressor in this matchup, I needed to correctly identify their threat and eliminate it before they could actually deal with us. Because, mind you, we would have been on electric terrain, So we would have had an electric terrain boosted max lightning into the Rotom after fake out chip. So it actually would have taken out the Rotom on turn 1. Obviously then, no, because it wouldn't have been electric terrain boosted because they switched in Rillaboom. But I still think it probably would have been enough, seeing how much the first one did to Dynamax Rotom. And then, like, what is their Dynamax target in that game? Rillaboom? When you're facing down Ensign? Like, obviously, I just cycle out Ensign. Like, Ensign Celesteela seems absurdly hard for Rillaboom to break through. So, I think that was the correct play. Is like, looking at their lead, it's fairly obvious that they're going to try to Dynamax the Rotom in that game. So, I needed to eliminate it first. Alright. Last one of the day. Let's see if we can get a W for today. We got Meowstic, Eliki, Urshifu, Glastrier, Ensign, and Moltres. They could try to go Trick Room on us, but I think because we have Snorlax, they probably don't want to do that plan. I think Ensign's absurdly important here just because they have Glastrier and Urshifu. Celesteela and Mandibuzz really don't like seeing Eliki, so this might just be like Ensign Garchomp up front with Snorlax Celesteela in the back. I think that leaves me too weak to Moltres, so I think I had to bring Coco. Do I want Snorlax or do I want Celesteela? Celesteela lines up okay against Glastrier. Lines up pretty okay against Moltres. I like Snorlax more, I think. Especially if we can actually neuter the Urshifu, which, because we have Coco, we should be fine. Regardless of which form it is, Coco lines up exceptionally well against Urshifu. So let's try to read our opponent correctly this time. Let's get into an actual mindset here. It's going to be Meowstic, Eliki. So this is probably fake out. They could max Eliki here. This could be max Eliki. Could also be Ally Switch. I'm just going to taunt this Meowstic. Do I want to max Garchomp to play around fake out? Like, what does Eliki do to Garchomp that I'm actually worried about a fake out here? It would be max strike specifically. So we could just protect. Could also Swords Dance. I like going for a Swords Dance here. They are going to max. Is this Eliki? Like, obviously you're not maxing a Meowstic, right? So this is just going to be lightning into my Ensign. They're going to max guard their Eliki. Okay, well, this is absurdly good for us. There's Fake Tears into Garchomp. Like, we probably have to switch Garchomp out now. But now Meowstic doesn't do anything. So I think the actual correct play this turn was to fake out the Meowstic, and then, like, Garchomp's just set up to take over this game. So I'm going to Flare Blitz the Eliki, and I'm going to switch Garchomp out into Coco. Coco will take basically any hit from the Eliki here. It might have been more correct to go into the Snorlax here, because it actually would take any hit. Because, like, obviously they're not going to Max Lightning that slot. They're going to withdraw their Meowstic. They're going to bring out their Ensign. This is probably just, Max Strike into my Coco, isn't it? I should have gone into... Yep, should have gone into Snorlax. Coco actually takes that pretty okay, all things considered. So I think this turn I'm going to cycle Incin out and go into our Garchomp. And then we will protect the Coco. I could see Max Lightning coming from Eliki this turn into the Incin slot. But I think because we have Garchomp, they just never want to click it. They're going to bring back out Meowstic. Okay. So this probably means I need to withdraw Garchomp this turn as well. Just so that Garchomp doesn't get intimidated this next turn. Yep, there's the Lightning into Garchomp. Okay, so they effectively did literally nothing with their Dynamax, so that's cool. So I'm going to protect Garchomp this turn. No, I'm not. I'm going to switch. We'll go into Snorlax. And then Coco can go for the old Razzle Dazzle here. I want them to also withdraw their Meowstic. I'm gonna trick. What does Ring Target do? I need to go look that up. I have no idea what that item does. It removes holders' type immunities to moves. Interesting. So now I can just bring out Garchomp. So they can hit my Snorlax with ghost type moves, is what you're saying. So I'm going to... I really don't want to max here. I think them going into Incin is pretty obvious. Meowstic is basically useless at this point, so I might as well just ignore it. So we'll go for a double edge into Eliki, and I'm going to cycle into my Incin. I want to max Garchomp in this game. It's just a matter of getting to the right position where Incin's on the field already, and I'm safe to actually do so. The problem is like, because they took my Assault Vest, Snorlax is not nearly as bulky. There's Rising Voltage, that's not good. Holy cow. That's really not good. What did they do with their Meowstic? I guess I'm Swords Dancing. And I'm going to fake out their Eliki. If they're going to withdraw, they're going to bring out Incin. Okay. We're going to get our Swords Dance up. They're going to withdraw Incin next turn. They're going to go back into Meowstic. Yep, they protect Eliki. Super safe Swords Dance here. We don't know what their fourth is. But the electricity is gone now, so that's good. I think I just want a Swords Dance again. I think this is correct. And I'm going to Flare Blitz their Eliki slot. And there's Rising Voltage into Incin. Takes that okay. So now we currently have a +3 Garchomp. They're going to Flare Blitz, presumably into Garchomp. No burn? No burn. Cool. They're going to take rough skin damage. Flare Blitz probably takes out Eliki now. Not quite. Not quite. So now we can safely Dynamax. Do they have any ground immunities? They have Moltres. So I think it is safer to go for a Rock Slide here. And we'll go ahead and Flare Blitz the Eliki. Because if they switch Incin into Moltres, which they're not, and we Quake there, then it's obviously really bad. Man, ring target Meowstic. So cool. So their play probably was to fake Tears me and then trick their ring target onto me and one-shot me. I mean, Hyper Beam does a chunk, especially when it crits. But we should pick up a double KO here. I have a +3 Garchomp. What is actually going to threaten me? They have a Meowstic that I literally don't care about. And what is your last? Because it probably also gets one-shot by Garchomp. Gonna get a little bit of recovery. Perfect. We are actually in a really good position now. So yeah, this team is definitely very very dependent on like positioning and everything. And the first two games we definitely were not able to capitalize on our positioning today. And that's why, you know, we came out with a couple L's. But I think if everything goes according to plan, it should be a W today. I'm gonna Wicked Blow. Please don't KO. Cool. And then Quake should KO here. That's gonna break a potential Sash. We're gonna eat our berry. Oh, their only damaging move on Meowstic is Fake Out. That's why it failed. Okay. Garchomp is the GOAT. I mean, he's technically a land shark, but he's the GOAT today. GG, opponent. GG. Now, the real question is are they going to let me attack, or are they going to concede? Please. Let me attack with my Garchomp. No, you monster. Who knew that getting an Assault Vest on Meowstic would be good for us? And that, my friends, is why if you play Trick, you need to have an attack on your Mon. Because if you trick away an Assault Vest, your Mon becomes useless. So yeah, let's throw up this rental code one more time. And make sure you pick it up. This team's very, very good. Very well constructed team. Like Smeargle posted in his team report about this, it is very much about positioning and pivoting to getting yourself into an advantageous position. Which in that game 3 today we were very able to do so. I think the one big misplay was switching Coco in on the Max Strike. And I think had we switched into Snorlax in that turn instead, Snorlax would have taken that one way better. And two, I feel like we would have been in a much more advantageous position. End of the day, Garchomp still got the +3 and was able to severely threaten our opponent. And that was good enough for me. So that is going to do it, everyone. We will be back later this week with some more Littleroot laddering. Have a good one. Peace.